We're going to start on this particular story with our London reporter Paul Hawkins, who is live at the Ukrainian Culture Centre, soaking in the atmosphere in the build-up to tonight's Euro 2020 quarter-final match between England and, of course, Ukraine. Lovely smiling faces. What's the mood?
Yeah, well, let's find out. Dennis is here, also Stefan and Hanya. Guys, how are you feeling about the match tonight?
We are feeling excited beyond belief. There is nothing more exciting in the whole of Ukraine than this match. It's never happened before, and it just might happen tonight.
Yeah, how are you feeling, Stefan? Big night for the whole of the country.
It's a very big night, and I'm very excited. And I just hope that both teams play very, very well.
Yeah. Yeah, how are you feeling, Hanya?
Yeah, good. I'm, waiting for the crowds to come in. Obviously, COVID will restrict it somewhat, but I think everyone's very excited for tonight.
Yeah. Who's going to win? Come on. Obviously, England are the favourites, but...
Oh, Ukraine will win, I think.
My heart tells me Ukraine will win. My brain tells me we don't know.
Yeah, well, Ukraine have done fantastic, haven't they, so far? So you must be very proud of them.
To get to this stage, Ukraine has never really been this far before, and I suppose not many people were expecting it. But everyone is super proud of the Ukrainian team, and everyone's very happy. And no matter the outcome, we'll all be celebrating, and we'll all be very, very happy.
It's put Ukraine on the map, isn't it?
Yes, it's put Ukraine on the map, yes.
Yeah, exactly.
And the thing is, Ukraine is an amazing place. Like, people may not know so much about it, but there are places in Ukraine you should go and visit. There's Lviv in the west, Baroque, jazz. There's Odessa, night scene. There's Chernobyl, which was blessing.
And all this Ukrainian
and all of this
food
amazing
here,
food to try.
Alistair, we're all going to get stuck into now. Ukrainian food, Ukrainian music here, and we're going to watch the national team later. About 100 people expected here at the Ukrainian Cultural Centre. They're hoping for for a Ukraine win. What do you say?
Well, through you, Paul, I will wish them well and say it was a lovely conversation, and good sport always allows for all opportunities, and I wish them well, and thank you very much, particularly for the national costumes. One quick one: is the music balalaika style? Is it that ding-a-ling thing?
Is the music balalaika style?
No, it certainly isn't. The Ukrainian national instrument is the bandura. And the joke always goes, the bandura has 52 strings, the balalaika's only got 3 strings. So, we're the experts, but it's bandura that's the music.
There you go, bandura, Alistair.
Yeah. Message received loud and clear, and thank you all very much indeed. We'll now risk my face appearing once again in the Ukraine Cultural Centre because they'll say, oh, there's the idiot who asked us about Russian balalaikas again. Paul, are you with me?
I'm with you.
There are more of them now. There are more of them. Over to you. Get me out of this.
Yeah, exactly. Alistair, guys, he was just talking about when he referred to the musical instrument. We should tell viewers, GB News viewers who are tuning in just now, if you're just joining us, actually, what was it Alistair referred to before in Ukraine? He was talking about a balalaika.
Balalaika. Now that's a Russian instrument. This is the Ukrainian bandura. This is a miniature version, just for show, but generally it's like a big pregnant guitar, people call it, and it has 52 strings, so it's much more difficult to play than
that Russian one.
Exactly.
Yeah, and Russia isn't the most popular country in the Ukrainian cultural centre at the moment.
Well, I think basically we're a country on our own, and we're just gonna go ahead and beat the world if we can. So,
yeah. So Alistair, you were talking there actually to that boxer about overcoming the odds. That's what Ukraine are hoping to do tonight when they take on England. I just have to step out of shot for a second because the chefs really want, everyone here wants to be on GB News, but especially the chefs who don't speak great English. But just a round of applause everyone for Tanya and Maria over there who've cooked this incredible Ukrainian food. Look at it, it's amazing. So thank you guys, thank you thank you for hosting us. Thank you. Dennis, what's Ukrainian for thank you?
Дякую.
Дякую.
Дякую. That's very good.
There you go. Okay, yeah, I finally nailed it at the 15th attempt. Like, you know, that's what we're like when it comes to speaking languages when you're English, isn't it?
Your English is very good.
So this is Dennis, everybody. This is Hanya, and this is Stefan, and we're going to be talking about the Ukrainian game this evening. Ukraine taking on England in Rome. Stefan, how are you feeling? And you've got a scarf here from one of the friendlies when England played Ukraine before.
Yes, I went to a friendly game between England and Ukraine in 2012. And it was a great match. Ukraine lost, unfortunately, but hopefully this time Ukraine will play a little bit better. But I thought I'd wear it. It's almost 10 years ago now, and so it's come up again.
Yeah, and so how do you think Ukraine are going to do this evening?
I think England's a very strong team. They've got Sterling and Kane as strikers, but Ukraine have Yarmolenko, Zinchenko, who scored a goal against Sweden. And lots of other good strikers and good players. So I think England shouldn't be arrogant against Ukraine and just assume that they're going to win.
Yeah. Well, you guys were brilliant against Sweden.
Well, we scored a last-minute goal that knocked us over the edge.
Yeah. And actually, on that note, Dennis, you were at the match at Hampden Park, weren't you?
I was, and I have to tell you that there must have been about 10,000 people, which is not very much. And maybe about 60% of them were Ukrainian, although it was hard to say because Sweden and Ukraine have similar colors, right? So they're all blue and yellow. But the way that you could tell who is by the amount of noise that these people are making.
Yeah,
so
Ukrainians.
So basically, obviously, Swedes are somewhat sedate Nordic nation, and they shout once in a while, but it's not very much. Whereas Ukrainians don't stop, like, for a minute. So basically, from the moment they start until the last moment of the match, there is always something. A song, a chant, even very rude ones. And then also, just a lot of noise, and it's not non-stopping. And there is a must. There is a song called Czerwona Ruta.
Yeah.
Has to be done at least once.
Is it rude?
No, it's beautiful. Then there is also the national anthem of Ukraine, Szczene Merla Ukraina.
Yeah, which is apparently, I hear, it's quite stirring.
Yeah,
quite stirring.
It's amazing. So that has to be done at least once. And then loads of other things. So basically, you have this non-stop support. People know each player's name, what they are like, what their character is.
Yeah.
Whenever they get the football, people saying Zinchenko, and Zinchenko, by the way. I don't know if maybe all the viewers know about somebody called Baryshnikov. He was an amazing ballet dancer. He was like basically floating on stage.
Yeah.
Zinchenko is the Baryshnikov of the football field.
Right.
He's basically floating around there.
Yeah.
Almost weightless, just waiting for an opportunity to score a goal.
Yeah. But how's it going to go tonight?
What
does your heart say? What does your head say? You're a psychiatrist. I know your head normally dominates.
My heart says penalty shootout. My brain says 3-1. I'm not going to say to whom.
You're not going to say to whom? Yeah, terrible, shocking.
No.
Hanya, this is a big moment for Ukraine as a country. It's not just about a football match, is it? It's putting Ukraine on the map, because often when we hear about Ukraine, right, it's about Crimea and Russia, and those are the only times you ever hear about it in the news because something's gone wrong there, and you don't hear about Ukraine for any other reason. So, real big opportunity for the country to put itself on the world stage.
Absolutely, and Ukraine is a fantastic place. Ukrainians are really friendly. The tourism it should be blooming. In Lviv, the second city, there's actually a jazz festival going on at the moment, one of the biggest jazz festivals in Europe, the Leopolis Jazz. So, things like Eurovision as well. Ukraine has done really well in Eurovision, and it's brought the country to the fore, I think, with people like Jamala and Ruslana, and even the previous in this Eurovision, they got second for the popular vote.
Yeah,
so these are all times when Ukraine is really doing well and wants to do well, and puts across a positive image of itself.
Yeah,
you know.
so Ukraine has pedigree now in football and Eurovision.
And I think so.
Unlike
definitely.
unlike Britain, which
Well,
doesn't
yes.
really when it comes to Eurovision,
And
does
the
it?
interesting thing is that a lot of the Ukrainian songs that are put forward in Eurovision are very much based on traditional folk songs, and they've really gone to town on these traditional songs and updated them for the modern day. And young people listen to them all the time.
Yeah.
It's really amazing to hear some of the sort of techno folk. It's great, yeah.
Can I just add that in my clinical team where I work, I was amazed that so many people really liked this thing called Shum, this last song from the Eurovision.
Right.
It's amazing. Like young people loved it, and there's something about the beat and this ancient history.
This
behind it.
incredible Eurovision Ukrainian song.
It's not just the Eurovision.
Yeah.
It's just about feeling something ancient and having this amazing beat that young people, young nurses and clinicians in my team love it.
Yeah. Okay, we haven't got long left. What is Ukrainian for "It's coming home"?
Воно приходить додому.
Right. I'm not even going to try to say that. But do they chant that on the terraces?
Can you tell him I want to ask something?
They may chant Slava Ukraini, which means glory to Ukraine,
Yeah.
and that's the general chant
Okay.
for Ukrainians.
Okay. Alistair, you've
No, I'm just intrigued, and I love the explanation about the musical instruments, and I'm very, very grateful for that. I'm just wondering, as I think a lot of people watching are wondering, Paul, whether the number 13 on the T-shirt on your left has a different meaning in Ukraine culture and society than it does in UK culture and society. Because if it means the same in Ukraine as it means here, I'm delighted he's wearing that number.
Right. So obviously the number 13 in is meant to be an unlucky number, at least in certain countries in the world, including the UK. Does it have that same meaning in Ukraine?
It does, but the thing is, when you're a psychiatrist, you know that some of these superstitions are ridiculous, right? And this is the thing. You need to understand what is logical and what is not logical. And number 13, logically, has nothing to do with bad luck at all.
Yeah.
In fact, if anything, in my life, my daughter was born on the 13th of June, 2002. There you go. So for me, it's a very lucky number, if it exists at all.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. You sound a little bit like the Ukrainian version of Spock there, going on about logic.
Well,
if I'm honest.
Ukrainians are a very superstitious nation as well. I've picked up loads of superstitions when I'm at home. Like
what?
If I leave the house, I have to look in the mirror to make sure there's no demons following me, and things like that. It's very old, kind of almost from pagan times, and people still, have those superstitions. But it makes it very, sort of lively life really to have all these superstitions. But it's interesting. It's interesting culture.
It sounds fascinating. Just coming back to the pitch, Stefan, Andrei Shevchenko used to play for the Ukraine, big Ukrainian football legend. He's now the team manager. He's done really well with them, hasn't he?
Yeah, he has. I think he's exceeded expectations. Ukraine unfortunately lost against Austria, and we thought it might be all over. But we've been able to pull through and beat Sweden, and I think that's in large part thanks to Shevchenko, because he's really revolutionized the Ukrainian team, which has never been this far before. But of course, it's a team game, and as long as Ukraine is playing together and they have that spirit in them, I think they can do very well. And even if they lose today, let's hope at least that they can give us a good game, give England a good game, and it will be entertaining for everyone to watch.
Yeah, I think it's going to be entertaining for all of us to watch. About 100 people coming here later, is that right?
Yeah, so it has to be restricted, but hopefully around about 100 people.
Great, excellent. So about 100 people are going to be here later. They're going to be waving the yellow and blue flags of Ukraine, chanting Ukrainian songs. It's going to be a fascinating game to watch. Potential banana skin for England. OK, they're the favourites, but that's what France thought. And look how they came up against Switzerland.
Yeah, indeed. Paul, sincere thanks to you and to your lovely, lovely guests. That's very, very kind of you. Thank you.